Playoff bracket is set and a lot of people are upset, rightfully so. Any fan of Florida State and anybody who believes that Florida State deserves to be in the playoff is upset right now. And anybody who believes that the committee got it right, anybody who is under the impression that they got the 4 best teams in, they're fine with this. And I fall under the category of people who believe that the committee got it right. Now, it depends on how you think the committee should have set this up. Should they have put in the more deserving teams in terms of a Power 5 school that went undefeated? Should they have gotten in? Well, that argument could be made, but the committee has stated that they are going to put in who they believe are the 4 best team. And without Jordan Travis, I don't believe anybody, even Florida State fans, believe that they're better than any other teams that have gotten in. Even Georgia, who is sitting on the outside, I think could beat Florida State at this moment in time. Now, could they have gotten an upset? Maybe they could have. Upsets happen all the time. This is college football. But at the same time, I do believe that they got it right in terms of putting the 4 best teams in. If I was a Florida State fan though, I would definitely be upset. Now, I have been on the other side of this, not as controversial when Alabama got left out last year. I honestly thought that Alabama is a way better team than TCU. Now, TCU got in, they beat Michigan, but then they got destroyed by Georgia. Now, would Michigan have went in and gotten destroyed by Georgia? I think so, because we have seen Michigan in the playoffs get destroyed. A lot of people don't talk about Michigan. I could go on a rant about Michigan for a while, because the last few times we've seen Michigan in the playoff, they're either gotten destroyed or they played bad. Against TCU, they played bad. Didn't get destroyed, but they played bad. When Alabama played them not too long ago, Alabama played them that first time, they got destroyed. It was not even a game. So people bringing up TCU, I think it's unfair, because in all honesty, TCU deserved to get in, and TCU also put up a good fight against Michigan. I think Michigan would have went up against Georgia and we would have the same result. So a lot of people need to stop bringing up TCU. This is not the same. It's not the same conversation. It is different. This is more like when Auburn got snubbed in 2004. A lot of people are bringing that up. They won the conference, they won the SEC, they still got snubbed, and that's one of the reasons why the SEC commissioner was pushing for an expanded playoff, and he's all about expanding it to 12. But we had that alliance. I'm going to touch on that just for a second. We had the alliance. I believe it was the Big Ten, the ACC, one of the teams in the ACC got snubbed, and the Pac-12. And we see what happened to the other 2 conferences not named the Big Ten. And the Big Ten basically pulled the okie doke on them. Right now, the ACC is not looking that great. Pac-12 is not a Pac-2. Who knows how long it's going to take for them to respawn, but it's still bad in the long run, because now what is known as the Power 5 will be known as the Power 4. Now, we know the main reason why Florida State, well, it's 2 reasons, honestly. The main 2 reasons why Florida State is left out is 1, because Jordan Travis is obviously hurt, and 2, they did not look that impressive in their wins when Jordan Travis was gone. And I've seen a lot of people bring up Ohio State. Ohio State, when they were on their 3rd string quarterback, dominated. It was not even close. I believe they played Wisconsin or somebody like that, and it was not even close. And so the committee looked at it and said, oh, they're still pretty good. And now the committee is looking at this and like, they're not that good. Now, the Florida State defense, most of the season, is probably the backbone of that team anyways, but without Jordan Travis, they kind of remind me of Iowa, a team that just simply needs some offense. The only difference is Iowa, I don't know the wide receiver group for Iowa, but the wide receiver group for Florida State is good. But if you don't have a quarterback who can get you the ball, it really doesn't matter how good the wide receiver group is. So, I mean, it is what it is. Somebody throughout this was going to be upset. As an Alabama fan, I was upset last year, but I think last year was way more understandable because we had 2 losses. I did not expect to get in over any 1-loss team, and now you have an undefeated team against a 1-loss team. So a 1-loss difference in this thing again, and I mean, going undefeated should count for something, but the strength of schedule after you beat the number 1 team in the committee's eyes propelled Alabama into the playoffs, going from 8 to 4. Georgia falls out. The first time we've seen a 1 seed fall out in the last few days here, and a lot of unprecedented things happened throughout this entire week. And like I said earlier, All of this could have been avoided if it wasn't for that alliance. We could have had a 12-team playoff. I am a big advocate for the 12-team playoff. There are so many leagues that have a great playoff system, but for some reason college football felt the need to continue. Before they had they had the pick me system with the 2 teams, and Auburn got snubbed in 2004, and now we have this team right here getting snubbed. This almost reminds me of, I think, UCF when they got snubbed, but they're not a Power 5. But I really want it so bad for them to be able to play somebody in order to prove themselves, or to prove that they wasn't as good. And with a 12-team playoffs, a team like UCF, a team like Liberty will be able to get in there and either get absolutely destroyed or prove that they can hang. They're having a great year. It would not be out of the realm of possibility for a team like a Liberty or UCF to one day win this thing, but they'll never have a chance to prove themselves with these 14 playoff, never. But now with 12, they'll have a chance, and it will be a chance for other smaller schools who go on a great run. I remember when Boise State, used to go on big runs undefeated. Now who they played wasn't that good. And so people looked at those runs like, you're not that good, but you could have put them in there and just see what they could have done now. But those what else will now be answered. I know I'm going on a rant here, but at the same time, stay with me. Right now, we have a lot of people who are upset. We have a lot of people who are saying we should have done this, they should have done that. This decision was not going to be right for everyone. Somebody was going to be upset, somebody was going to be happy. And right now, Tuscaloosa, that city is happy. And right now, down there in Tallahassee, they're upset. And it's very unfortunate for the kids. I do feel bad for them because you did everything you possibly could. And because of an unfortunate event, your season, when it comes to winning a championship, is essentially over. They're going to play Georgia, and it's going to be interesting to see because I don't know how many people who can go to the league are actually going to play, and so that can play a big part in it. Will they both suit up just to say, we're going to prove that we're better than somebody? Maybe, but you don't want to get hurt in the bowl game. So anybody who sits out, who's going to the league, I do understand it, unless you're trying to get a little bit more draft stock in playing. If you're gonna be somebody who's gonna play in a bowl game or not play in a bowl game, either one is fine with me. I understand it. I would be tuning in either way. So let me know your thoughts and opinion on this. What do you think about the committee's decision? I honestly think that they got it right. I honestly think that a lot of ACC fans should look at their commissioner and say, you failed us. It's not all their fault, but it's a big reason why they're not in a tournament right now, because it would have fixed everything. Alabama would have been anyways. Florida State would have been in anyways. Georgia would have got back in, maybe Ole Miss, maybe Liberty, and it would have been a great time. We would have had so much more meaningful football because bowl games are cool. But honestly, guys, let's keep it real here. A lot of times the big names sit. A lot of times these bowl games are just not that exciting anymore. It's time for college football to go into the new era, and the new era is the 12-team playoffs. I think 12 is a good number. Some people said 8. 8 would have been okay, but I think you reward, people for winning their conferences and give them a bye. So it would put some more stock into the regular season, and so the regular season can stay meaningful, especially for top teams that are going to automatically win 8 games or so every single year anyways. And so that gives them a push to push for the top and get that bye. And so I think 12 is a great number. But let me know what you guys think about this entire discussion. We have a lot to discuss throughout the entirety of this week. We're going to do some previews for the games. I'm going to get my predictions and stuff like that. This is an entirely different format to the channel. It takes so long for me to edit, and so I can't get videos out as often as I would like, because I like to have discussion videos, and I also like to script some videos if it's something that I need to put a little bit more research into. And so we're gonna be doing both on this channel. So subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.